Hello, horror hounds. Welcome to my horror house. I've got my drinks, I've got my snacks, I've got the DVD of Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives in the player, ready to go. So if you want to get set up and watch along with me, I'd love your company, and I'm going to count down to play now in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, the old Paramount logo. I love old movie ident logos. I don't know why. I really love the old Universal ones. The Universal logo makes me think of Dracula, Frankenstein. The Paramount logo makes me think Friday the 13th. The New Line logo always makes me think Nightmare on Elm Street. My girlfriend's a little bit younger than me. It makes her think Lord of the Rings. Here we go. We're in. I love the opening to Jason Lives. The creepy music, Harry Manfredine. The fog. So much fog and the lake and the forest. This really sets a feeling, I think, of a classic old school Universal Monsters movie with the fog and the forest. And here we are with Tommy Jarvis. The whole opening section of this feels to me of a piece with those Universal classics, especially Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, with the grave robbers opening Larry Talbot's tomb and him coming back to life. And obviously in a bit we'll get Jason resurrected by lightning, which clearly brings to mind Frankenstein. And it's this opening section and the return, the glorious, nonsensical, zombified return of Jason Voorhees, which I really think sees him step up into the pantheon of horror icons, to take his rightful place there. I like to think of horror movie villains, certainly in the West, in Western cinema, like the old pantheon of the gods. Your Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Gillman, Invisible Man, all those 30s and 40s classics. They're your top tier of old gods. They're your Zeus, your Apollo and the like. And then through the 80s, we get a second tier of new gods and monsters, with Freddy, with Jason, Leatherface. But all of this is real old school horror chills. It doesn't even pretend to be anything else. Digging up a grave on a dark and stormy night. I mean, the lanterns. I mean, come on. This is like a comfy horror blanket. I love the fact that this entire film, how Jason comes back, and this entire setup, all completely informed by Tommy's nightmare at the start of part 5, with the nice casting link back in that one with Corey Feldman. It's basically the character of Tommy here makes this happen exactly the same way he dreamed it would in the last film. Always in movies when a grave's dug up, a couple of guys with spades manage to dig a really neat hole and also manage to dig down on either side of the coffin so that they can stand astride it like this. You are never going to dig a hole like that in a million years, especially under the cover of darkness, not wanting to get caught. But it's a movie convention. When you dig up a grave, the hole has to be really neat, and you have to be able to stand astride the coffin like that. It doesn't happen that way in real life. Let me tell you. Boy, I could tell you some stories. It's just you try to get it as neat as possible, but it caves in on itself, and it never goes that way. And Jason's pretty fucked up here. I mean, he's so fucked up here. I'm amazed that he's actually able to stop moving in a little bit. Maggots, maggots, maggots. Any fans of Garth Marenghi's Dark Place out there? Maggots. Must have been a really cheap coffin for all of those bugs and all that detritus to get in there. And that cobwebs. I think Mario Bava would have appreciated a worm-covered corpse like that. Tommy Jarvis, completely stable and normal. He's ironically going to be the architect of his own downfall in this movie. He's going to bring Jason back to life. Ah, this is, ladies and gentlemen, dramatic irony. I don't think about that character much, but I actually really dig Tommy's friend. A small role, the first to get offed, and I think he does a good job. He's the 80s comedy sidekick. Here we go. Lightning and electricity in movies is always blue. That's the rule. I don't know why. Here we go. Awesome. Why Jason's eyeball hasn't rotted, I don't know. It doesn't matter. That was a freaking cool shot. Manfredini's music coming in, telling us what we already know. Stuff is about to go down. I'll talk about Manfredini a little bit later on, I think, in his contribution to the Friday the 13th series, but I think he's one of the MVPs of the entire franchise. Oh, his heart. His heart can't take any more of it. That's what we call foreshadowing, ladies and gentlemen. Tommy, you really done fucked up here. So now here's a question for you. So with the lightning and the two lightning strikes, and then what is about to happen in a minute with suddenly then the rain coming down and putting out the matches so Jason can't get burnt, do you think that there is a larger supernatural force at play here? Something saying, no, no, my Jason's coming back. I'm watching over him. Or am I massively overthinking this? Awesome. He didn't have the heart for it. With slashers, every kill, I love to do an Arnold Schwarzenegger type pun. Eat your heart out. He had a bad case of heartburn. This is the real Jason's back, motherfuckers shot. I mean, this is a gift before there were any gifts. And then, to add another layer of awesomeness to it, the James Bond opening, which is absolutely ridiculous, makes no sense whatsoever. But I fucking dig it. And then just double down with the blood spurt. Right, the opening credits might be a good place to talk about Harry Manfredini, the composer. He's a little on the nose quite often, but he gives each of his Friday the 13th film scores a different identity, but also one which feels like it's a piece with the previous stuff that's come before. This driving sort of drum heavy, urgent, real shit's going down type score is absolutely perfect for this film. Completely different to his absolutely funky disco-infused Part 3 soundtrack, which I freaking adore. Next month I'm going to London Film and Comic Con, and Harry Manfredini is a guest there, and I really had hoped to pick up just a second-hand vinyl of hopefully Part 3, but pretty much any of his Friday the 13th scores to get him to sign it, but boy, those suckers are expensive. Right, it's time. It's time to open the first beer. We shall be having Badger Dorset Breweries Tanglefoot Traditional Golden Ale, 5%. I know this is pre the Seattle grunge period, but Tommy's outfit here really prefigures something I could easily see Eddie Vedder wearing in the early 90s. Jeremy spoke in class today. There's no time for this. You gotta listen to me. We unleashed a lion. He bit the recess lady's breast. Oh, this is nice beer. And for snacks at the moment, I have some nice and spicy knickknacks. The fog budget on this movie must have been huge. Very meta. Way before Scream did it. I think Jason Lives is going to be having a lot of fun with its own legacy. As part of the reason why it's many people's favourite entry in the franchise, if not consistently top 3. It delivers the Jason, and it has an absolute blast doing it. The movie's pretty damn light on its feet. And I love Jason standing here like, like the Black Knight, you shall not pass. Jason really utilises what's to hand throughout this movie and sort of levels up. He's nicked Tommy's gloves. He's taken that bit of fence. Later on, he's going to tool up even further. Amazing to think that they buried him in the green shirt and the sort of grey slacks that he was wearing in the previous movies. Tommy would have cut him to pieces. They surely would have taken him somewhere, done an autopsy on him, and then he probably belongs to the state, so we're going to bury him. Let's just bury him in his old clothes. Oh, sorry, I didn't Arnie pun that, guys. He got the point. He just flipped for me. What can we do for her? I actually quite like that. The special effect is cool. Oh, and then the bubbling in the puddle is pretty gross. Don't leave home without it. That doesn't make sense. Even Flo. What a terrible dream. Cunningham Road. Sean Cunningham. That's an Easter egg, folks. For those in the know, we call those things Easter eggs. This is the exposition, guys. Just don't worry about it. Stuff's happening. Jason better get him. Just going to put this out here, but our leading lady is she's hot. She's hot. She's really good in this. I remember her from the V TV miniseries. I think she was the alien hybrid child with the psychic powers, so she had to pull the psychic face anytime she was using her powers. But she's easy on the eye. In the grand old tradition of Friday the 13th drunks. These movies have got so many anachronistic elements to them, sort of caricature-y and cartoony. He looked at us when he said that. Some folks, like us, have a strange idea of entertainment. Us, who are going to watch this horror movie. That's meta, guys. That's another example of meta. Alice Cooper's amazing song Man Behind the Mask in the background there. Going to be a couple of Alice Cooper songs in this movie, and it's just yet another example of the flick just having fun with itself. This is a freaking party movie. I don't think I've ever seen more toilet rolls in one place than that. I choose to believe it's a sly comment on previous entries in the franchise where people, not to put too fine a point on it, take a dump and then don't wipe. It happens at least 2 times I can think of in previous movies. So many people go to the toilet in the Friday the 13th franchise, more than any other franchise I can ever think of. There's a lot of peeing and a lot of shitting in the Friday the 13th movies. Actual kids at the summer camp for the first and only time in a Friday the 13th movie. Fun movie fact there. The bus driver is the Zodiac Killer. I've not heard of anyone complaining about the comedy in part six, it seems there must be people out there who it grates for and wish they'd have got back to basics. But this really is the comedy entry of the franchise, and it's kind of all the better for it. I'm glad they didn't keep pushing in that direction, but this is a real palate cleanser of a movie for the franchise. It shifts us back to Jason, shifts us to zombie Jason. Personally, I'm a fan of human Jason the killer. I think that's scarier, but zombie Jason has his place. Comedy twins in movies. Do you get twins in movies that aren't comedy twins? I suppose Dead Ringers. David Cronenberg's Dead Ringers. Not many jokes in that. Can you imagine what this guy is like back at the office with coffee in him? Unbelievable. I mean, just utterly obnoxious. His bark is worse than his bite. I love the idea here that superpowered zombie Jason is now more powerful than he realizes. Coming back from the dead has just juiced him up. Even flow. I'll be honest. I could do without this little bit of business with the slapstick with the bark. I'll say this for whoever this guy is. He's taking a small role and he's making it big. Boy, just this is the kind of stuff where if it was a Jim Carrey film, the script would say, Jim moves through the trees and does some stuff. But this guy, God love him, he's no Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey isn't even Jim Carrey these days. Oh man, this guy truly is in a completely different movie. I mean, luckily, this whole section of the film doesn't last very long. It's purely designed to do two things: serve up a smorgasbord of quick victims, one after the other, just like this. Don't lose your head. And it lets Jason upgrade with that utility belt, the machete, and the knife, and all that kind of stuff. He does kind of look a little bit like an action man with that utility belt, though. I freaking love the mask in part six. I think it looks great. This movie moves along at a fair old clip. With 24 minutes in it, it hasn't really paused for breath. It's just, like I said earlier, it's light on its feet. It gets the job done. Manfredini's driving score really helps. It provides a sense of urgency here. I love the drums in this section. I love Manfredini's strings. And when he goes quiet, for me, no one. There are little sections in his score which speak to me of like ripples on the lake. Just sounds like water, and it's just like plinky plonky strings. But he's really flexing his muscles here, having fun. You gotta listen. At home, drawing pictures of mountaintops. Just in case you were under any illusions as to what on earth's going on here, old Drunky here is going to clear it up for us. Coming up is my absolute favourite scene in this movie. Possibly my favourite scene in the entire franchise, which is Court teaching survival skills. Court, the absolute authority on, quote, Indians. He's really selling this scene. I freaking love it. I unapologetically, unironically love what he is doing here. He's got his little moment, and man, he is working it. Leaving Forest Green. It sounds like sounds like a country song to me. She's leaving Forest Green. I didn't mean to be mean. Now she's leaving Forest Green, and I'll never see her again. She's leaving with my truck and my dog. I never should have called her a hog. Now she's leaving Forest Green and me. They just serve up people and then kill them. It's kind of what you want. I presume Jason knocks that rock. He's not into. He's not really into pulling pranks on people. Wah, wah, wah. There's some foreshadowing as well there. You're going to be the death of me. You know, characters in these movies just shouldn't say things like that. Love it though. Don't drink and die. The drink went to his head. Don't often see Jason taking a go at people after they're down like that. It's kind of nasty. He's out there on his own. He thinks he's got time with this body. It's actually a little bit grim that he's killed this dude and then he's just going to keep slashing and hacking away. They got the point. I think I said he got the point a little bit earlier on. I'm already doubling up on my Arnie puns. Sorry. Jean-Paul Sartre, no exit. Wow, wow, wow. That's a visual gag there, folks. Hey, say hello for the first time to our hamsters. We shall be returning to them an inordinate number of times. Now, here's a scene that has stuck in my head ever since I've first watched it. This card game of Camp Blood that she never fully explains the rules to. But the Jack of Spades being Jason and then creating the face cards as the counselors and putting them in cabins is such a great idea. I believe someone's come up with rules to them and there are rules you can find on the internet. I don't think that the writers of the script ever came up with rules for them. It's just a cool premise and it used to drive me crazy. It's like, I really want to play this game. It sounds freaking awesome. I will give you £5 if you can name both of those characters, because I can't remember what they're called at all, if we've even been given their names. I will be honest, if you were in charge of all of these kids and the people actually running the camp hadn't turned up by now, I don't think I would try and half-arse it at this point. I think I'd have called for help immediately. So am I overthinking this, or is the little girl called Nancy, who has supposedly a bad dream, a nightmare, supposed to be a little nod to Nancy in A Nightmare on Elm Street? It's too much to think that. You're talking to the guy who thinks that the fact that Kincaid in A Nightmare on Elm Street for having a dog called Jason is a nod to the Friday the 13th movies. So, you know, I can overthink everything. You know, in my personal life as well. It's not fun. Right, I'm just going to put this out here. This does not look like good sex. This doesn't look like good sex at all. Fair play to your court. He's living the dream and the nightmare at the same time. That's right, Jason. There are kids in there having sex. Go get them. The court's going way, way, way inside his head. God knows what he's thinking about. Court, you're a legend. Oh, Court's just turned up there to do his summer job. He moves fast. I think he truly is a legend. I mean, clearly Court has to die in a Friday the 13th movie, but I'd have happily seen him survive to the sequel. Damn, there's a lot of plaid around here. It's just my fritzy memory of the 90s that I thought that plaid became the thing sort of like 1991, but this is like the third plaid shirt we've seen in this movie. Lol at a Friday the 13th movie this late in the series trying to build some suspense. Good on you. Thanks for trying. Thanks. I think suspense-wise, there's probably scenes of genuine suspense in the first two, and after that, everyone knows what's coming. Mind you, familiarity does breed contempt a little, but I've seen this film so many times. There are no jumps in it for me anymore. I mean, changing the name to Forest Green has really done a great job of sort of like papering over the past. Everyone freaking knows about Jason. What if it's that guy, Jason? Jason who? You know, from Crystal Lake. But this place is Forest Green. I don't know where Crystal Lake is. Oh, that looked like she actually hit her face there. Jude. I'm sorry, Court. I love Court. He is making this role work for him. Yeah, baby. Teenage Frankenstein, Alice Cooper. Let's frickin' rock. It's a great match for this film. Alice Cooper's music, the couple of songs that are in this. The song he wrote for it, Man in the Mask, is brilliant. I love it. You know, in a rock cheese kind of way, but this is sort of like a horror cheese movie in the best possible way, with all the love in the world. Okay, she's going to get killed in the toilet, so I've got to come up with an Arnie pun for her death. Okay, I've got one. I just have to... Timing's everything. I have to deliver it. There we go. When you've got to go, you've got to go. Okay, that amused me. I'm sorry, guys. We're going to have to talk about CJ Graham as Jason soon, but stuff like this in a Friday the 13th movie doesn't build suspense or terror for me. It's a bit of a delayed gratification for the kill. It's a nasty knife, though. He's got the splitting headache. Excellent stunt. I love looping the music. It's the last thing the Court hears, and flipping that motorhome was a brilliant stunt. And then I think possibly for me the iconic shot of the movie here, the most iconic shot of Jason in this movie, and the music kicks in and it's on fire and he doesn't give an F and he just looks awesome wreathed in smoke like that. I just think that that is freaking great. So a few years ago, I met CJ Graham at a previous London Film and Comic Con. He was there with Kane Hodder. He was a great guest. So much value for money. They sat him next to Kane. I get the impression that these actors get to know each other sort of on the convention circuit. They get sat together and they have to kill a lot of time together. Kane was an incredibly popular guest with very long queues. CJ less so, and there was one day when Kane was a little bit late getting to his table, and CJ didn't have anyone queuing to meet him, so he just got out from behind the tables and started entertaining Kane's queue, talking about Kane, talking shit about him, sort of joshing, trash talk. I imagine that they both engage in it a lot. But yeah, I met CJ and got his autograph and chatted to him. He was just such great value. So happy to talk to his fans. I think he's brilliant. I think he's a brilliant Jason. I think he is determined, powerful. He's got the walk. He's really got the physical presence. I think he's genuinely a phenomenal Jason. The physicality he brings to it, I think, is something that Kane sort of took and ran with.
Now, what this scene represents here with this character trying to balance on the chair, what that represents is us trying to get the perfect balance between horror and comedy. It's a difficult mix to get right, which is what we represent with her having difficulty balancing on the very tippy toes of the chair, and she fails. So in this scene, she fails there to achieve that balance, but I think in the final movie, we succeed in creating that balance of horror and comedy, and that's what we were all about. But I like to put little sort of like subliminal things in my movie to talk about those themes, and that's what that scene was all about there. Many people would watch the film and say, you have to cut the scene of the character balancing on the chair. And I say, no, it's the heart of the very movie. If you lose that scene, you lose the heart of the movie. And if the movie doesn't have a heart, then what's the point of it having a circulatory system, lungs, legs, spleens? If you can't get the blood to the other areas of the film without the heart, then they're going to atrophy, and then they're going to start to rot and decay, and then you've got a film that looks like a rotten piece of mush. You have to have the heart of the film. Otherwise, what's the point of the kidney of the film if the heart can't get blood to the kidney? I would suggest that Court in this film is the kidney of the film. And he was a great kidney, I gotta tell you. That kid, he was a pick. I picked him out of a lineup. I said, that's my Court. I mean, it was a lineup for hot dogs at a hot dog stand. None of those kids were auditioning at the time. But I picked him out anyway, and I said, that's my Court. And I took him to one side, and I said, kid, do you want to be a star? And he said, sure. And I said, I need you to be the kidney of my movie. And he says, what do I gotta do? And I say, do you know anything about Native American traditions? And he said, no. And I said, you're perfect. You're hired. It was the easiest decision I ever had to make.
Jason's at the camp. So there was a talk at that convention with CJ Graham and Kane Hodder. Those two guys were doing a Q&A. and I asked CJ a question, something I'd always wanted to know. And I asked him, I said that part 6 is famously the only entry in the franchise that actually has children at the summer camp. And I said, was there ever a moment, ever a time when you felt where you wanted, or got the itch, when you thought Jason should ever go after one of the kids? He said instantly, immediately, no. Kane as well, no. Jason doesn't kill kids. They were both, I think they're both very weirdly very protective of the character. I think Kane said something along the lines of Jason is a child, inside Jason is a child himself, and he would never harm a child. There are a couple of moments in this movie that sort of suggest that the children might be in peril. And Jason could certainly rip right through all of them if he wanted to. I think it's quite telling that he doesn't. I think that's possibly a step too far in a series of movies. Now, we get to the stage where, especially in this cycle of horror movies with Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, you get to sort of a stage where you're rooting for the killer in a weird kind of way. And I think Jason slaughtering a load of kids would have been a bit too much. I mean, this is not the greatest prank in the world. Is it time for? Yeah, we're halfway through the movie. It's time for my second beer. Hobgoblin Ruby Beer, 5.2%. Let's get the top of this. I mean, she should die for those bunny slippers alone. Jason, the real head turner. She gave him some head. God love him. I forget the actor's name, but he's not exactly a dwarf star of charisma in this movie, is he? He sort of has to play the bland hero. Hey, it's hamsters again for the second time. Boy, the action in that hamster cage is really hotting up. I mean, every other character around Tommy Jarvis is significantly more interesting. Until the point where he calls Jason a maggot head, and then I forgive everything. Speeding? Cheers. Oh, there's a third Alice Cooper song in this. This sounds like Alice Cooper. I don't know this one. I'd forgotten he had another song in this. Awesome. Freaking Alice got paid for this movie. Damn. Officer Pappas. Man, these two need their own show. The fucking moustache bros. The moustache cops. You just know that Pappas grew his moustache after the sheriff grew his moustache. You just frickin' know it. He looks a bit like Norm Macdonald. You just frickin' know that Pappas originally grew a frickin' goatee. He shaved himself first into a goatee and looked in the mirror for about 10 minutes going, goatee, 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 and then got rid of the goatee and just stuck with the moustache just to be like the sheriff. Amazing, really, that Pappas doesn't make it into part 7. I've just remembered why. R.I.P. Pappas. Damn it, man. Pappas is awesome. I bet he thinks that moustache makes him look like Burt Reynolds. Do you think he wants his nickname to be Big Pappas? But no one calls him Big Pappas. His favourite musical acts, surely the Mamas and the Pappas. And that concludes the Pappas pun section of the commentary. Thank you for listening. Why is she falling asleep with the phone next to her? Oh no, she's going to die. She's going to die. Well, yes, obviously, eventually, of course. Right, I've finished my nice and spicy knickknacks. So I have some Dairy Milk Orange Giant Buttons. I frickin' love orange chocolate. Yeah, I'm with Nancy on this one. What? Practical jokes are lame. I'm sorry, guys. They're lame. Chocolate orange. Oh my god. Oh, it's delicious. This is not what you tuned in to listen to. Sorry. But I have to tell you. Oh my god, I'm going to scarf these. So Jason popping up there and looking, watching them from a distance. It's a little Michael Myers-ish. Does anyone, tell me if I'm going crazy here. It's Michael Myers in 78, the original Halloween, stalked and then killed. And we know this genre of films now to be called slashers, slasher movies. Does anyone remember, like I do, a brief period where they were called stalk and slash movies, where there would be a period of stalking? And there's stalking in the first two Friday the 13th movies. There's a lot of killer POV cam, through the trees, watching people, planning your moves. And certainly the first two Friday the 13th movies were stalk and slash movies, and Halloween was a stalk and slash movie, but no one uses that term anymore. Please tell me that I'm not going crazy and you remember that used to be a thing, stalk and slash, that sort of got distilled down to, as more and more movies sort of cut to the chase and just got to the body count, the stalking element was completely lost, and then these movies just became slashers. Even flow. This sucks. Honey, I had to break it to you from my vantage point in 2021. You're going to get scared a lot. You're just going to have to get used to getting scared. Doesn't get any better. Buckle up, sweetheart. This I like. I love that shot. So this is weird. So this is a weird throwback to Jason in stalker mode. I love that shot. I love this tracking shot of him sort of following her through the window. It's great. Jason hardly does this kind of stuff anymore. And I think he looks awesome. You always get sort of the last person on camp who suddenly realizes, hang on a minute, where the fuck is everyone? To be fair, she's been asleep. Clearly, I don't live in America, so I don't know summer camps. I don't see the appeal of this. I really don't. If any of you have been to summer camp or anything like that, please tell me what it's really like. Is it any good, or is it just seems awful? I'm not great with strangers, and I'm not great at getting to know people, and especially when I was younger, absolutely fucking awful at it. So take the killer out of it. Just the idea of going to summer camp and probably getting bullied just sounds freaking awful to me. The closest we had was the Boy Scouts and Scout camp, and going to camp. And I've just realised that the kid picked up the machete, and it wasn't a practical joke from Court and the others. It was Jason's machete. So he'd put it down somewhere. That girl had found it, probably in her cabin, brought it here, and Jason went, "Oh, where did I leave my fucking machete?" And he went and got it back again. What is he doing that for? Oh, thank God, it's just a door. You exited Windows without properly shutting down. Now, unlike Court, this guy, I gotta say, he's trying to go big with a small role, and I don't know, I just think he's overdoing it. He's just a douche. He's just a massive douche. And he had that cool line wherever the red dot goes, "ya bang." But when it gets said back to him, it's so much cooler when it's said back to him, just because he's a massive DB, a douchebag. Did I mention that she's fine? I don't know. It just strikes me. She's really good in this. She's got really good energy. She's easy on the eye. She's just, what the fuck is she doing with that white bread frickin' plain pasta of a guy? I don't know why he's interested to her at all. I mean, she clearly needs to get out of Forest Green. Babe. No, I take it back. I take it back. I take it back. If someone's given him the line, "I'll get it for you, babe," what he's done is he's created exactly the right character from that line. That character is supposed to be a douchebag. He's amazing. He makes that role absolutely work for him. I mean, he he is giving every line fucking 11 when everyone else is maybe at 6 or 7. Every single line is 11. I mean, he totally in his head thinks that him and Megan were going to get together, doesn't he? He always thought that was going to happen. He thinks he's much cooler than he is. I've changed my mind. This actor's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. Even giving the keys to him is like an 11 move. He's just have the keys. Megan! He's sort of like the John Lovitz of deputies. Megan! I'm going to enunciate. Oh, she's so much cooler than he is. I know the fans love a bit of Tommy Jarvis because he's got this arc. Corey Feldman did a great freaking job with him in part 4. But man, Megan is so much cooler than he is. He's so fucking bland. Jason belongs in hell. I'm gonna put it there or something like that. I mean, Jesus, every line he's given. Oh, that's right. We had a couple of shots of him reading some frickin' occult books to come up with the utter nonsense of how to kill someone who he doesn't really understand how they got resurrected in the first place. I mean, he should be completely wigging out at the fact that he's seen a corpse come back to life. But no. I mean, he should have lost his mind by now. It's our hamsters now. They're both on the wheel. The fight for the wheel continues. Thunderdome. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Hamster wheel. 2 hamsters enter, 1 hamster leaves. There's just... Every character is the hero of their own story. And while all this is going on, those 2 hamsters, their story is the story of the struggle for dominance of the wheel. Forget everything else that's happening outside. Forget all the murders and forget Jason. The true story of this night is the fight for dominance of the wheel. Ah, bless her pausing on the word die. Really cool little line reading for such a young little actress there. Good on her. Hey, there's Pappas checking out his reflection, giving he's got literally fuck all to do. He's giving his character a bit of depth. Just that tells you everything you need to know about Pappas. It tells me that fucking moustache, I was spot on about it. Man alive. It is unfortunate, I think, that the censors really had the Friday the 13th movies in their sights here. The gore has been stripped out of it. It's never properly going to get remastered and put back in. And as fun as this movie is, I'd have loved if we could have got the full-throated, really bloody kills to punctuate the levity and the humour, to offset it. It's a fun movie as it is, but you just have to... You just have to wonder what levels of awesomeness it could have. That's using your head. What levels of awesomeness? Oh, and then cut to the dartboard. These crash cuts to wah 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 visual gag. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. But I wish we could have had the bloody deaths as they were envisaged, as they were intended. Censors fucking suck, man. When somebody please think of the children. I mean, utter bullshit, really. Here's Pappas. He's gonna fucking get it. Here's Pappas' moment to shine. Oh, he fucking loves it. He thinks he's Clint Eastwood. I love Pappas. This is his fucking Moses moment talking to the bush. Let my people go, Jason. Let my people go. Damn, this guy should have been in a Death Wish movie. I've got the real crush on you. I mean, the movie does a great job of lining up victims and then dispatching them. And do we ever really think that the kids are in danger? Nah. It does add an element, though, that we've never seen before at summer camp at Crystal Lake. Forest Green, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. Jason's going to go there. He's going to F your S up. But yeah, it adds another little dimension. It's seeing him go to such, and the story of the hamsters ends. Seeing him to go to the lengths he does to sort of protect the kids and stuff, it just adds a little level of pathos when he dies, frankly. I'm amazed it took to part 6 to get kids at the summer camp. Now, is Jason realising now that post-death he's bulletproof, or do you think he's just too freaking stupid? Or is he dead again now? Is he literally dead and he gets resurrected in a second? Or is he just faking it? Is that a resurrection or a boo? Dead again? Resurrection. Do you think he's getting used to this resurrection ability here in this scene now? Or once again, am I overthinking things? I think it's the second one, isn't it? Yeah, it's the second one. Andrew, stop overthinking Friday the 13th, part 6, Jason Lives. Did I say earlier that this was the 7th one in the franchise? If I did, I didn't mean to. Oh, forgive me. So yeah, after doing all of his occult book research, his amazing, in-depth research into fighting the supernatural evil, he's bought a padlock and some chains. It's hardly the Necronomicon, is it? It's hardly Van Helsing's vampire hunter kit. I mean, we'll see in a minute, but Tommy's plan sucks ass. That he pulls it off is phenomenal because it sucks ass. Weak. Sorry, that one's occupied. I'll take this one. And of course, now that he's here, he has to go and source a rock. I mean, the plan is ridiculous. This guy's got the right idea. He's actually got some smarts. Hide, and it could probably have survived Jason if it weren't for the need to go and make himself known and protect his daughter. I think he could have survived it. Well done, Tommy. So, yeah. Now that I've got the chain in the boat, I've got to move this really big rock to the boat. Oh man, I hope Jason doesn't come while I'm in this part of the process. That would be
So embarrassing.
This is a cool shot. I mean, she's fucked. Great line coming up. Even better double take. Oh, not yet. Oh, here we go. It's a great line, and that double take look he does is just. Yeah, here we go. Oh dear, Megan. You essentially, you got your dad killed. He gives a pretty good reckoning of himself. I'll say this. Police work is backbreaking. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the final Arnold Schwarzenegger death pun for this commentary. I thank you. I thank you very much. Maybe in the future, when you watch slashers, you might like to come up with some commando-style kill puns yourself, and you can send me your favourites on a postcard to the normal address, and I'll pick a winner, and the winner will get the full rules to the Friday the 13th card game. Now, for all of this, Jason would never kill a child. He's certainly fucking going in there. Mind you, he's been in there a couple of times already, leaving machetes, coming back, trying to pick up machetes. I mean, he's all over the place at the moment. Where's he going? Through that door, through the wall. It's me you want. Is it though? Is it really? I've just recently seen Halloween Kills, where Laurie continues to insist that Michael wants her and only her, and he doesn't. And you have to. I guess Jason. No, Jason does have beef with Tommy. Tommy killed him. Jason's got more beef with Tommy than Michael does with Laurie. Michael's getting on just fine in Halloween Kills. He's got plenty of people to kill. I'm not getting into Halloween Kills in this commentary. Sorry. It's not happening. So Tommy's plan is to... Well, what is it to do? I mean, obviously on the surface, it's to tie him to a rock and keep him there in the lake. But he's already under the water now. He's already got him under the water in the lake. So I think it's suddenly dawning on him that he hasn't thought this through in this overhead shot. It's really so he's now going to implement his amazing backup plan that he has prepared for and thought out. In the absence of being able to conveniently get to Jason and put the chain around his neck that's got the rock on it, a rock, by the way, that he has no way of getting out of that boat himself. In the absence of Jason, he is going to set fire to the water around his boat. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the worst plan I have ever seen. He's going to need Jason's help in fucking destroying the boat to get the Rock out of the boat. Just going to have a little bit of a WWE style tussle here. Let's try and create a little bit of dramatic tension here. I'm not sure what the fire is supposed to do other than create an environment that makes it very difficult for Tommy to survive.
Frankly.
And even now, here we go. You fucked up again, Tommy. I mean, he's just looking around like, this was supposed to work. What? What is this? What the fuck is this? Jason's on fire now for no reason other than it looks cool. And it does look cool. Here we go, Jason helping in his own demise by breaking the boat. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get to see in a minute why Megan is so much cooler than Tommy. I mean, God, this is the worst plan in the world, isn't it? I mean, this is utter nonsense. He's playing possum. It's the smartest thing he's done since he dug Jason up and brought him back to life. Hey, listen to me shitting on fan favourite Tommy Jarvis. Oh, maybe he's not playing possum. She has to go and save him. Oh my goodness. She is a million times better than Tommy Jarvis as a character. She's got chutzpah. She's got spunk, as we say. She's... I'm not going to say what I was going to say then. Well done, Tommy. You fucking knob. So he's not very deep in the lake. I mean, he's barely there. He's barely off the shore. She swam out, flipped Tommy over so he doesn't fucking drown. She's utilising the propeller to F Jason's S up. Here it comes. I mean, she's freaking cool, is what I'm saying. Tommy's a bit of a dork and she's freaking cool. Tommy didn't think any of this through. He's caused all of this. All of it. All of the deaths in this film are on Tommy Jarvis, not Jason Voorhees. Jason is going to Jason. Tommy is the cause of all of this, and I'm going to go further. Tommy's the direct cause of all the deaths in the subsequent movies. Part 7, Part 8, Jason X. You could lay them all on the doorstep of Tommy Jarvis. What a dick, man. Tommy Jarvis is a dick. Megan, on the other hand, is awesome. All of these poor kids are going to be in years of therapy for this. I mean, all of Megan's friends and her father are dead, but as long as she can ride off into the sunset with this frickin' douchebag, I guess that's a happy ending. Yay! Jeremy spoke in class today, Megan. Jeremy spoke in class today. Man, don't say it's finally over at the end of the Friday the 13th movie. When you're 2 movies after the final chapter. Man alive. And what, 3 movies away from the final Friday, supposedly. Words like final and finally in this franchise should be in huge air quotes. Some say he's still out there. Lovely final shot. Awesome. And then into the end credits where we'll get the brilliant Alice Cooper, Man in the Mask, where I always like to look out for nicknames that crew have given themselves in the end credits. So if you want to stick with me, here we'll see if any of the crew have given themselves a nickname this time round, and we'll also look out for cool names. E. Bunker is a wicked name. But he's back. He's the man behind the mask. I really like this song.
Herbie Langley.
I'd forgotten how synthy this song was. It's got no guitars in it at all, really, has it? Well, not that I can hear, anyway. John Fest Sandow. How did he get Fest? How did he get the nickname Fest? John Fest Sandow, I salute you. Michael Nomad. Man alive. He sounds like he should be in a series of Lee Child's books. Michael Nomad. Steve Brazil. Yeah, you just know that poor kid got called Steve Brazil at school. Only one nickname? Fest? Fest? Is that it? At least we got one. Good on you, Festy. Oh, the man behind the mask. I kept saying the man in the mask. The man. Must have driven you all fucking crazy getting the name of that song wrong throughout all of this. I apologise. He's the man behind the mask. This is such a catch. Michael Nomad played Thornton as well. Damn, who was Thornton? I'm going to have to go back and check him out.
Michael Nomad is back for revenge. And when he serves it cold.
Well, thank you very much if you're still with me for hanging out with me and watching Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. What fun. What fun that film is. Everything is Tommy's fault. He starts it all and then wraps it up with the worst plan in history. But in between those two fundamental balls-ups... It's really fun to watch. It's been fun to revisit. It's just a fun film. I'll get this up before Halloween. So if you're watching this as it goes up, happy Halloween. I hope you're having a great spooky season. If you're listening along with me at any other time, salut. I raise a glass to you. Stay spooky, guys. Take care. And I shall, if you enjoy these, I'll do another commentary soon.